How's it going on? This is Ghoulish here. Bringing you guys a new video. Today we're talking about the season 5 update and how I feel about it. Starting with things such as shotgun balance, map changes, etc., etc. I'm just gonna go over all these things and how I feel about them all. I think the biggest thing about this new season is the shotgun meta. A lot of people aren't fond of charge meta, charge tack, and they prefer pump. I'm kind of in the middle when it comes to those things. I prefer pumps. Not being able to bail out and one pump people. I think the max damage a pump should be able to do is like 150. To only one pump that normal threshold of 150 health. I don't think pump should do any more damage than that. I say that because it leaves more room for counterplay for the person who got pumped. Before in the other seasons, with purple pumps being a thing in chapter 2, purple pumps kind of dominated the shotgun space. They always out traded blue, green, and gray pumps always. If you want to win against a purple pump, you had to outplay the kids like significantly harder than he had to put in effort outplaying you. For example, body shots with the purple pump did 105 or so. So that 5 extra damage made a huge difference in most box fights and in build fights in some situations. However, with the charge, you have to kind of take your time, allow a perfect shot, have good aim. And on top of that, have decent movement and understand the player movement to get that max damage shot off. It's not like you just point the person and hit scan and it's done. There's more tracking involved. There's more predicting people's movement. And I think that adds a higher skill to the shotgun play in today's meta. But also to counter that, you got the tack in the game too. The tack kind of just ruins the whole methodical slow play of the pump charge play style and just throws them back. Can't just go unga bunga. You just running people balls, just 2 tackle and call it a day. But also, you know, it's more risky. So like the tag is more high risk, high reward shotgun, or your charge is kind of like low risk, high reward type shotgun because you have them behind peanut butter usually. You have them behind edits, you have them behind walls, just charging up and getting ready to try to trade more with the person who's trying to shoot at you, right? I feel like this dichotomy of shotgun diversity gives you like this opportunity to play a variety of play styles that kind of the pump didn't allow to happen back in the day. It was like either you had the pump or you didn't have the pump. The tack somewhat got buffed to be somewhat viable back in season 2 of chapter 2, but still it was times where you prefer to have a pump over anything for the ability to just get high burst damage and just to keep moving on and clean up people and keep moving about your day, especially in team modes where you have to get that opening frag to secure the kill or to secure the team fight. So I'm hoping Epic finds a way to give us a good shotgun meta as the season prolongs without vaulting the charge or unvaulting the pump as well. I feel like they should really try to tweak and fine tune the guns they are now and just move forward from that point on. I don't want to see a whole bunch of new guns being pushed and put out of rotation every single week because people aren't happy about how they perform. Because at the end of the day, it's a video game. You have to adapt and kind of get around and use what the game gives you to your full advantage, right? It's just a part of playing the video game. Next, we're gonna talk about the SMG meta. The SMGs are kind of OP again. I wasn't a big fan of this meta back in season 3 when it was a solo FNCS meta. People just run your boxes with P90 and tax and just get away with everything. Just pepper through all your shit and just, you know, destroy you. I don't understand the philosophy of reverting back from a balanced SMG meta like we had with the season before, doing the superhero Marvel theme, whatever, or last season. The tag SMG and the suppress SMG had slower fire rates, they had lower headshot damage multipliers, etc., etc. And that allowed people to not just run at you spraying guns. Like this spray meta is starting to come back with the P90 being in the game and also the normal SMG being back. I feel like these things coming back kind of takes away from the point of having the charged shotgun and attack being more skillful weapons in the game. So now it's just, you know, it's who can just jump on who with a whole bunch of pressure with SMG bullets now. Because people oftentimes underestimate the importance of pressure in fights, right? The more damage you lay down on builds, keep people from healing, stop people from like, you know, moving around in space. It makes it a lot easier to get that kill. The SMGs allow people to do that more freely because they shoot so much faster than they did before in the other season. Before you had a little time to run away, box up, rebox, and just heal up, or maybe get to a teammate and then we go from there. Now it's like people just P90 in your boss and just call it a day, exploit straight on. So again, I'm just not too fond of this balance decision coming back from the previous season. I'm just not a fan of. Last but not least, talk about the map. The map is pretty dope this season. I really enjoy the big desert area. It reminds me of like the Paradise Palm area, or desert biome back in the old map, with the twist of having the crystal rocks to kind of traverse through the area. I like the idea of having natural mobility around the map, especially in the center of the map. It allows people to get some clean rotators in and not really get damaged often. It allows you to kind of mitigate the RNG of being so far out, like drop budget like Cap Cod, maybe Flush Factory and stuff like that, because eventually you're gonna move towards the middle of the zone, and that stuff, that natural mobility helps out as well too, which is pretty. The OPIs are pretty cool. Tilted Springs or whatever, Salty Tower, what the fuck it's called. I'm not really a big fan of that because it doesn't have that same dynamic as Tilted had. I feel like in this new Tilted, you have to land like Trump Tower or buildings in close proximity to that, because you can't like offset fights by you can't just take your own one on the outside and then work your way in. You have to take that one and you have to hope and pray to God the person on top doesn't like just jump in on you. So the dynamic of Tilted isn't really there, but it's just there for nostalgic sakes, which is pretty cool. I don't mind it at all. I guess it's pretty. And last but not least, some new items, new fishing items specifically. Rift Fish is pretty dope. It reminds me of World Cup meta back in the day when we just spamming rifts and same mobility, survival later on in later circles. I really enjoy it. Anything that allows players to move forward without any risk. I really like that about this game here, because this game is you can get grief so easy by people just being stupid and shooting you for no reason. Back in chapter 2 season 1, when there was no mobility, no launch pads, no anything, right? Only swimming. People oftentimes would just sit back and hold you for no reason, who didn't know how to play the game. They ruin their game, ruin your game. It's just a bad time for that fun. So I'm just happy that we have some sort of mobility that's easy to get our hands on, because fishing holes are basically everywhere. And there's a high chance of getting it with a professional ride and harpoon. And so if people just send their drops around stuff like that, they can get any kind of rift they want. So I really enjoy that as well too. So overall, I think this season's pretty dope for competitive. It's a little different, and I'm looking forward to playing the FNCS season again, trios for a whole year. I'm looking forward to grinding the game, just putting all into it, just trying to make something out of it again. Last season that grind, that drive wasn't really there, but this season is kind of easier. So I'm looking forward to trying it this time around. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys, just have a good day. I'll see you next one. Peace.